Definitely.
All right, I'm just going to start this out and welcome all of you guys. Thanks for taking time out of your super busy schedules to be here on our call today. Today we're going to do things a little bit differently, and we invited my amazing dearest friend Aaron Keith, who was actually a business coach of mine for over a decade. He is the man behind the scenes that's responsible for a lot of the processes and systems and all of the hard things I've had to do in my business, which means like you're going to hire people even when you don't want to and you're not ready. So he coaches business owners, so not just real estate, just any entrepreneur, and he's amazing at it. He also coaches all the guys on the $1 Million Listing Show. So he is there, coaches all of them and some of the biggest real estate companies. So Aaron's incredible. So he's got a background in business and real estate, which is really nice. So we thought it would be fun to bring him on here today to talk about building our database out. It's a little bit harder to mine referrals out of them right now because people don't like to leave their 2% interest rate. So expanding on databases is one of our big goals this year. So Aaron's a master at that, and he helps other agents do that. So welcome, Aaron, and maybe throw a little bit more out about what all the things that you do, because you do a lot.
Sure. Thank you, everyone. So listen, first of all, I know you guys are busy and you have a lot on your plate. And so I really appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to be here with us. My commitment is that you get some good.
Oh,
Did he freeze?
He froze.
That's
Hopefully,
Aaron,
he's
where'd
froze.
you go?
That's funny because he was like, "Can you hear me?" And we are like, "Yeah, you're great." And then
Let me
maybe
see.
maybe you
Chat.
should text him.
Text him. You're froze.
He more than froze. He disappeared on us.
I can see his face, but he's just
Oh,
frozen.
you can? I can't see his face.
I just texted him. So
Well, I hope you guys got a lot out of that presentation.
Amazing. And by the way, I'll have to step out at 11:30 for a coaching call. So I'll enjoy being here for 30 minutes. So sorry to sneak out early.
Aaron basically said, no kidding. So he's going to pop off and pop back on. So
Okay.
I'll watch for him to come back on. His company, I will say, though, is called Buildify Systems. So he's got a really great website. But Aaron does seminars. He is a public speaker. He has a really great podcast. Just can't say enough about Aaron. Several people, I know Audrey, you've coached with him too. I think Andre never, right? No.
Yes, I have coached with him. I had the most profitable year ever when I coached with him.
Yeah.
In 24 years. So
I doubled my income the first year, the first 12 months of coaching with him. And a lot of what he does again is like, he really dives into finances. He is very big on financial freedom. So he helps you create budgets. He's got templates for everything. So he takes your business, and it's, us as real estate agents, like we're running around selling houses, but if you don't run your business like an actual true business, then you're not saving money. You're not buying investment properties. So, Aaron comes in and he really takes your processes and he does a deep dive in, just looking at every aspect of the business. And he kind of goes and finds the gaps and the holes, and he helps you fill those gaps and holes. And sometimes it's, you don't have enough capacity, you're doing everything yourself, which I feel like a lot of us do. And even with the marketing side of things, the marketing coordinator that I hired, my first one was in like 2010, and he like really pushed me to hire her, and I was terrified. I just didn't feel like I needed it, but I was very wrong. So he's my coach that always says hire for where you're going, not for where you are today. So if you've got big goals to get down the way, and here he's coming back, he helps you achieve those goals. And he's very passionate about what he does. He likes to work with people that want to actually take action, because, we can learn all the things, but if we don't actually move forward and, be proactive with what we're supposed to be doing each week, just like with any coach that we have, you're not going to move the needle forward. So I got him back on, but maybe we lost him again.
No, yeah, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, you're here. Yes.
Sorry, guys, my computer just went down, so I'm doing this on my phone now.
That's okay, as long as we have your
Wow, roll
space.
through it. Sorry for the waste of time there. So I'm just gonna get into this. So you guys good with that? I was wasted
Yeah.
like 5 minutes of your time. So I want to get in this and give you guys some value.
Let's do it.
So here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to cover financial freedom, which I know is a little bit of a unique topic. I promise you, we're going to tie it back to your business and your sales goals. We're going to talk a little bit about financial freedom. We're going to talk a smidge about budgeting, mainly your personal budget in this conversation. We're going to get into sales goals, and then we're going to get into some marketing strategies. I'm going to cover 2 marketing strategies that are a little outside the box. When Heather and I were preparing for this call, we wanted to bring a different conversation to you. You know, you guys hear the general stuff from all the real estate experts out there. I wanted to bring a little something unique. Like Heather said, I've been a business coach for over 20 years. I've coached over 12,000 CEOs over the last 20 years, and I coach all industries. So I'm going to bring a different bend to some of the things that you may have heard. So hopefully that's okay with you and you get some value out of it. So let's dive in. The first thing that I want to deal with is your financial freedom. Why are we going to talk about financial freedom? Financial freedom affects your personal budget. Your personal budget affects your business budget. Your business budget affects your sales goal. So we are going to talk about sales goal, like I said today, but we can't get to that until we get clear on a few things that ultimately affect your sales goal. So the first point I want to dive into when it comes to financial freedom is going to be your why. Let's be honest, building a business is not easy. Whether you've been doing this for 20 years or you've been doing this for just a couple months, owning a business, running a business has a degree of stress, worry, concern, and frustration. Would you guys agree? Yes? Okay. And your why are we doing this, really plays a strong part in you being successful. So your financial freedom is one of the strongest options for you to select as into why am I doing this? So that's one of the main reasons I have a lot of my clients working on their financial freedom, other than the obvious, is so that they get connected to something bigger than themselves. They get connected to why am I building this business? Now, second bullet point I really want to get into, your financial freedom affects your personal budget greatly. If you don't know how much money you and your significant other need to be putting away so that you can be financially free or retire on time, then that personal budget is wrong. We're not making enough money to fund the thing. So it's so critical that if you haven't already, get some help and realize, what is my financial freedom number? What is my retirement number? In other words, what age do I want to be financially free or retire? How much money do I want to be bringing in every month at that point? And how are we going to get that money to come to us at that age? That is really important questions you all have to be answering for yourselves. So I just want to cover this one more time. You want to build something called a life by design. It's basically a fancy budget. Okay, it's a fancy budget standing in your financial freedom / retirement years. So let's say for tickles and giggles, you want to be 55 years old and financially free. Wonderful. What does that budget look like? How much are you spending on travel? How much are you spending on golf? How much are you spending on your health and well-being? Blah, 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 blah. You all want to really know that number. That is so important. The reason why it's so important, again, is because it affects that budget. And so once you set your financial freedom number, your budget's going to tell you how much money you have to be setting aside every single month in order to reach that goal on time. Does that make sense, everybody? Okay. And Heather, feel free to jump in. If there's something that you want to add, just jump on in and let me know.
I have a question. So do you still have your Life by Design worksheet that we used to fill out? Would you be able to provide that to me and we can send that out as a bonus resource? So
absolutely.
It's a great exercise to go through. It just definitely gets you thinking on that final number that you need. Big time. Talking with a lot of my real estate friends, they've said, oh, my net worth is, $3 million, that will be enough. And I'm like, just the travel that you do won't be enough for that, so
Yeah.
it really gets you thinking about the different areas of your life where you do need to have the budgeting in place, and you just need to know your number. It's so important. And then you've got to figure out how to get that income, passive income coming in to hit that number.
Yeah, so let's go with what Heather just said. So there you are. I'm just going to make up some numbers for the sake of conversation. Let's say, okay, me and my partner, we want to live off $20,000 a month, standing in retirement years. So once we know that, the next thing that you will have to do is figure out, okay, well, where is that money going to come from? There's 3 primary asset classes in the world. There's investable stocks, there's real estate, which is our favorite, and then there's businesses. So you have to then determine for yourselves, like, okay, we want $20,000 a month to live this ideal lifestyle, this life by design that we've created for ourselves and really committed to. And so now we've determined how are we going to do this? How many rental properties do you need? How many businesses do you need producing, passive cash flow? How much do you need to own in investable stocks? This part is complicated. This isn't something that you're just going to do in a few minutes. This requires usually a professional or some serious conversations, but it's absolutely critical that you learn this. Here's why. Once you determine for yourself, and I'm just going to make up a scenario, okay? Let's say we've now determined we need to own 4 rental properties. We need to have $1 million in investable stocks, and let's just keep it there. No businesses. So if that's what we need, then we have to ask ourselves, like, all right, we need 4 rental properties. How much cash does your business need to make so that it can give you that free cash to go buy those investments? How much money does your business need to make so it can pay you enough to invest that much money into the stock market over that many years to accumulate $1 million in investable stocks? This is why this conversation is so critical to your business. Like I've said, I've worked with tens of thousands of CEOs, very few, maybe 1%. Maybe I get one person a year who actually has done the work to know my company must make this much money every year, so it can pay me this much money so I can go buy these assets and live this lifestyle and retire on time. This is something that I can't tell you how important this is. I really would push you, encourage you, get some help, find someone to help you, a financial advisor, myself, anybody who knows how to do this. It's super important. Heather, did I miss anything in that, or does that seem like it covers that?
No, I feel like you cover it well. I just want to say, once you do it, as I said, I coached with Aaron for 11 years. This was something that we revisited every single year, just based on changing, like inflation, different things like that. So it's something that you create and you make. It doesn't get put aside forever. You need to make sure you're coming back to it frequently. And always, because I think it also helps remind you of where you're going. The why part is, like, we all hear about whys, we all know why we need to have a why, but it's so important that you really have that number, so you know why you're doing what you're doing every day and working so hard. And so you can retire someday, because I think a lot of agents, you work until you die. And, what's the point if you don't get to live life a little bit and have that money set aside? So it's been probably one of the most beneficial things that I've been able to create, coaching with Aaron. I don't even know that I would have the assets I have right now if it weren't for sitting down and actually thinking through, like, what is it that I want? And then get a group of friends that, get a group of friends together that you can do this with, because we had a big group and we would meet every single year and really look at our numbers and say, okay, like, where can we go buy an investment property that's going to cash flow versus one that might appreciate? Like in my market, we have appreciation, but cash flow is really challenging. So kind of depends on where you're at in your life and your needs, but it's really important. So
yeah, and again, Heather's hitting the bullet points perfectly for me here. It's the last thing I was going to say about this is structure. Get a structure. Whether you find a best friend, a business colleague, a group of people, like Heather was saying, we would all meet, once a year, and we'd all support each other in becoming financially free and ideas and concepts and running numbers. And that support is critical. Remember, let's be honest, Most of us, our parents didn't talk to us about money. School doesn't teach this kind of understanding of money. It's a rare conversation. And so it's so critical, right, that we have support around something that's so important to the rest of our life. Don't be shy, ask other people. Most people would jump at the opportunity to have some support around learning about money and having some accountability about getting financially free. So we'll shoot you over a document that will help kind of start this conversation. If you guys need any other documents, I have some other ones. You're more than welcome to ask. I'm pretty open about sharing my stuff.
I think your
so,
budget
but,
too, because you have a really good budget. So
I think so too. I think we should send them the budget too.
Yeah.
So I
The
have a
budget breaks it
revamped
out
one.
like personal, business, so you can break
Well,
out the two.
I can send them that too, Heather. I also have a financial freedom budget. So I made a budget just for financial freedom that matches the Life by Design. So I can send all three if you want.
Yeah, that would be great. I think they
Okay.
would benefit from all three. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So like I promised you at the beginning of the call, I want to tie together financial freedom to sales goals and to marketing. So let's shift gears and hit the sales goal now. Let me just look at my notes to make sure I don't miss something here. All right. Yep. Good. So like I said at the beginning of the call, if your personal budget's wrong, your business budget's then wrong, right? Because your salary and your distribution, how you're supposed to pay yourself, has to cover your personal budget. So if the personal budget's wrong, that means your salary and your distribution's wrong. If your salary and distribution's wrong, it means your business budget's wrong. And again, if your business budget's wrong, how are you going to set an accurate sales goal? So this is so important to get sorted out. Your sales goal needs to be probably 10 to 15% larger than your budget. So whatever your business budget is, your sales goal should never be the same as your business budget. It's a goal. How many of us hit our goal every month? None of us, unless you're playing a small game. So you always have to have enough gap between your sales goal and your budget. 10 to 15% is the minimum. Okay, everybody? So when you're setting your sales goal, please make sure you break it down in granular detail. The killer of a lot of entrepreneurs, like smaller entrepreneurs, is, I'm just going to use a real estate number. Let's say I want to do 50 million in sales volume this year. That doesn't mean anything. In some of my markets, that's a house. So I need to know from the ground up. If you need a spreadsheet on this, I can send you one of this too. But your sales goal needs to be broken down to how many leads do I need per month? How many appointments do I need per month? How many active buyers and sellers do I need per month? How many closed transactions do I need per month? What's the average sales price per transaction? You have to know those numbers. You're a business owner. Your job as a business owner is to run the business by the numbers, not by feelings and emotions. And I don't want to sound airy-fairy in how I'm saying this here, but your occurring reality is given by your ability to grasp what needs to be caused and created in the world. So if you're just like, oh, $50 million like sounded good, your brain can't do the work to cause a result, produce result, because you're doing it based on a concept. When you get emotionally engaged in something, it's because you really understand it. You understand the gritty details of what it's going to take to cause that result. So there's something that changes in your brain. There's something that changes in your emotions and feelings when you get grounded in and connected to the source of what it's actually going to take to produce the result. Do you guys get that? So now let's look at this for a second. We know how our financial freedom impacts our personal budget. Personal budget, we know impacts the business budget, which impacts the sales goals. We got that. That all makes sense now. So now here we are. We've done the work. We've broken down our sales goal into granular detail. And there I'm just gonna make up a number. We need 15 leads a month. If we get 15 leads a month, given our average sales price, we're going to hit the $50 million sales volume goal for 2023. Yippee-doo. Okay, so now what? So now we know how many leads we need. Now you can build a marketing plan. Because guys, if you haven't broken down your sales goal into granular detail, how are you going to build a marketing plan? You're just going to build a marketing plan hoping and praying that it's going to be enough? No, 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 no. We don't hope. Hope is the battle cry for the weak and inept, we always say. We can't hope. We have to know that this marketing plan that we're about to build is going to produce 15 leads a month. There's a little system that we attach to the marketing conversation here. There's a little supporting system that kind of goes with this marketing plan. And that supporting system is called a lead source breakdown. Your lead source breakdown is a super simple document. And it's like insanely simple, but massively impactful, right? A lead source breakdown does two things. It tells you how many leads you need per source. And I just forgot the other one. And there we go. Hold on, we need coffee. Coffee break.
Let me think too. Let's see
Nope,
if
I
I
got it.
remember.
So it's, no, it'll come out. So basically what happens is your lead source breakdown is telling you how many leads we need per source and what are the sources in which these leads need to be created. So you're going to list, here's all the sources and here's how many leads per source. That's what it was. So it's step one, what are the sources that I want my leads to come from? Then how many leads per source? Those are the two facets. Super easy. So I'll give you an example. Let's say sources first always. So we want open houses. We want our A clients, B clients, business alliances, networking, and online. Let's just pretend that those are the sources that you're committed to bringing business in from. Check. Now you have to go back through and like, all right, I said I needed 15 leads a month. So where are these leads going to come from? All right, I want 2 leads from open houses. I want 3 leads from my A's, 5 leads from my B's, blah, 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 blah. And you're going to break down how many leads you want from each source. This, ladies and gentlemen, needs to be printed out, pinned to your wall, tattooed on your arm, because this is your guidepost. This is your accountability. So every month, when you're looking at your leads that have come through, you all should be tracking your leads. I shouldn't have to tell you that. You're going to be looking like, all right, I brought in 16 leads this month. Awesome. Where did they come in from though? Because now we have to see, is the marketing plan actually producing the volume of leads that you need per source? That's what's so critical. I see very, very few business owners that are actually mapping, this is what I wanted to produce, this is what I actually produced. And that comparison gives you feedback as to how well your marketing activities are actually doing. And that's what Heather and her business partner are teaching you. They're teaching you how to do this. You want to make sure that it's, as you're doing this in your business and you're learning this and you're improving your marketing, that you're doing the not so sexy stuff, which is tracking, right? Most of us don't love tracking stuff. So tracking, tracking, tracking. So promise me that from today's call, you'll have a lead source breakdown. You can do it on Excel, you can do it on a napkin. It's really simple. Promise me you'll break down your sales goal so you know exactly how many leads you need. So now that we have that, now we can move into marketing. Heather, we doing good so far? Any questions? Anything I need to, okay.
I think you're good. Yeah.
Okay. All right, deep breath. I'm talking fast. Sorry guys, I get super excited about this stuff and I start talking a million miles a minute. I love marketing. This is so much fun. Okay, so I could talk to you guys about all kinds of marketing today if you want to, but I promised Heather that we would talk about 2 specific marketing strategies that are a little unique, okay? I work with a lot of agents, big and small, everything from, you know, a new agent all the way up to, I mean, my largest real estate agent right now did over $5 billion last year. I'd say I have about 5 agents right now that are doing over $500 million a year in sales volume. So I work with some big teams. And there's two strategies right now that work no matter if you're a first-time agent or you're a billion-dollar producer. And these two strategies, the reason I'm bringing them up, in most of our markets, the market has changed. It's not like it was a couple of years ago. Some markets better than others, but still, marketing has changed a little bit. We're having to work a little harder. I think we could all agree about that. So these two strategies I feel are very fitting for our times, okay? So for those of you who know me, you've probably heard a little bit of this before. Business alliances. What is a business alliance? In my world, a business alliance is a mutually beneficial relationship between two businesses. So I'm going to give you some examples. That could be CPAs, wealth managers, divorce attorneys, divorce mediators, family law, business managers, entertainment attorneys, architects, interior designers. I think I may have said interior designers. You want to know who your 5 or 6 primary business alliances are. Could a painter be a business alliance? I mean, yes, but statistically, they're not your A business alliance, they're more of a B player. You want to know who are the 4, 5, 6 industries that work with your target market. Okay, this is absolutely critical. And when me and Heather were talking about this strategy, here's why we thought it was fitting for today's times and for today's conversation. For a lot of real estate agents, their production has dropped due to the market, the economy, all the things. To really grow a business in this economy, your database is going to have to drastically grow. What I mean by that is, let's say last year you did $30 million and you have 500 people in your A and B list, total of 500 A's and B's, and you did 30 million. Now, to do 30 million, you may need 2,000 people in your database to produce that same volume. It's not possible for most of us to double, triple, quadruple our database in 6-8 months to hit our sales goal. It's going to take years. So the fastest way of accomplishing expanding your database is how? Leveraging someone else's. Business alliances give you the ability to leverage. That's why it's so incredibly important. So Heather, is this making sense so far?
Yeah, I love what you just said, though. The fastest way to grow your database is to leverage someone else's. That's beautiful. I've never really even thought about it like that.
Because, and again, some of you on this call who I do know, you've been at this a long time and you have a big database, but your database isn't growing like it used to. You're seasoned, you've built big, and we all reach somewhat of a plateau. It's just the nature of business. We all plateau at some point. So like anything in life, leverage kicks in. We all have to leverage at some point. Whether you leverage your business by hiring an assistant, that's still leverage. You hire an agent that works for you, that's leverage. Well, this is marketing leverage. We all need to do marketing leverage. Unless you want to spend the next couple of years trying to expand your database one human at a time, go for it. But work smarter, not harder, right? Business alliances are so valuable. Now I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be very blunt about this. I know I don't know all of you, but I'm willing to bet the keys to my car that you do not have enough business alliances. And I'm saying that because I've coached literally tens of thousands of people, and I've never met a single client, not one client, that can tell me that they have 2 or more business alliances per industry, because that's the minimum. 2 CPAs, 2 wealth managers, 2 divorce attorneys, 2 blah, blah, blah. 2 is the minimum. If you can do more, you're a rock star. But I've never met a single person who can come to the table with like, yep, I have 2 people in each category that refer me business. Listen up, everyone listen up. There's a difference between I know a CPA and he or she knows me. That's a business contact. If you know someone and they know you, that's just a business contact. If they have tried to refer you business over the last year, then they qualify as a business alliance because now you have a relationship with them. Does that make sense, everyone? Okay.
Well, and
Yeah.
even
Yeah,
touch
go
on,
ahead.
I think a lot of times we have these alliances that we know, but we don't ask them. We're not deliberate about our process of like acquiring business from them.
Yes.
So maybe touch on that a little bit because obviously I learned this right out of the gate from Aaron, and Brian Buffini teaches us to do this as well. But
Mhm.
the people, my alliances that I work with, my title company, my CPA, they won't send business to anyone else. And they straight up tell people, sorry, Heather's my agent. You know, my CPA tells me stories all the time about, because he does a lot of taxes for real estate agents, and they just say they try and earn his business, and it's a hard no.
Yeah.
Heather's my gal, but I think we have to teach them just like we do clients. So maybe touch on that real quick.
Yeah. So let's talk about the strategy. That's a great conversation. So I'm going to run through from start to finish how you run a business alliance relationship. I'm going to use Heather as my example. Just she doesn't have, Heather, you don't have to say anything. She's just going to be my example. Okay. I'm going to say that Heather is a CPA. Okay. So there we are. I call Susie. Hey, Susie, listen, I have a couple clients from time to time that ask me for a really good CPA. Susie, you're a business owner. Do you have any good CPAs that you know? You do. Amazing. Listen, would you mind sending me an email intro between you and Heather, your CPA? Okay, so Susie's going to send this email. Me and Heather just got connected over email. I'm going to reach out to Heather. Heather, wonderful to meet you. Susie said amazing things. Heather, from time to time, I have clients that need a good CPA. I'm looking for 1 or 2 CPAs that I can trust to send my clients to. Would you be open to scheduling just a 5-10 minute quick conversation? I'd love to just formally talk to you and learn a little bit about your practice.
Oh, you got muted somehow.
Are we back?
You got muted. That's weird.
No,
You're
weird.
unmuted.
What was the last thing y'all heard?
Your intro, how to get connected.
Okay, gotcha. So if there you are, you get connected. When you're talking to the CPA and you're kind of responding for the first time, and apologize if I said this and it got cut off, you're basically reaching out saying, hey, listen, nice to meet you, Heather. Susie said amazing things about you. And from time to time, I have clients that need your service. And I'd love to schedule 5-10 minutes, just a quick conversation. I'd love to learn more about your practice, who you like to work with, who's an ideal client for you, and anything else about your business. Would you be open to scheduling a 10-15 minute conversation? When you say to someone, would you be open to scheduling, and it's a short conversation, 90+% will say yes. So there you are, you get on the phone. I'll get on the phone with Heather, and me and Heather will just banter for a few minutes. I'll ask her some questions. How long you've been in business? What got you into being a CPA? What kind of clients do you like to work with? Blah, 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 blah. And hopefully Heather will reciprocate. If she doesn't, high probability, this frog is not turning into a prince. And that's fine. That's what this is. You're going to have to kiss some frogs. This is the dating part of business. You're looking for that energy, that connection, like, oh, this person could be a really good fit. So there we are. Step 1 has been accomplished. You have now asked everybody you know for CPAs, wealth managers, divorce attorneys, divorce mediators. You've asked all of them to send text intros or email intros. I prefer email intros so I can add them to my database. So I try not to do text intros. So once that first step is done, you should have a bunch of emails in your inbox, right? So now we move on to phase 2. I'm going to keep using Heather. Me and Heather had our quick little 10-minute chit chat, went fine. So now we're dating. Now it's time for me to court my business alliance. Because remember, we don't have a relationship yet. Heather knows me, I know her, we just know each other. Now I have to prove to Heather that I'm of value. I'm not just some weird real estate agent. Remember, there's a million agents out there, right? We have to show that our brand is better. We're more capable. So this is your opportunity to show your business skills. I personally do a 4-touch campaign here in this next phase. The first touch is I'll send them a handwritten note, usually right after the conversation. Good, it's a nice touch. It's not too much. People appreciate that. It's different. Then usually what I do is like a 3-week interval. You can do 2 weeks. I don't mind. I wouldn't do faster than that. A little too much, a little too aggressive. So 2 or 3 weeks after, send them a podcast. Hey, Heather, listen, I was listening to this podcast when I was on the treadmill. It was awesome. I thought you might enjoy it. Hope you have a great week. A couple more weeks go by. Heather, I just finished this book. I loved it. I thought you might enjoy it. Sent you a copy. Another couple weeks go by. Oh my gosh, I was reading this article. Let me know what you think about it. So we're doing touches like that. Books, podcasts, TED Talks, all those things work. I try to do 3 to 4 touches because I'm sending them something as a colleague. I'm having them relate to me that we are mutual business owners. We're similar. We're of the like mind. That starts to build a connection because we haven't asked them for anything. We've just been giving them stuff. And that's really clutch. And hopefully this back and forth via email has started to build a little bit of a banter, a little bit of a little spark of a connection. So now step 2 is complete. Check that box. Final stage, step 3. This is where the rubber meets the road. Y'all busy. Everybody on this call, you are all busy. I would never tell you to go meet one person one-on-one. I do not think it's the best use of your time, nor do I think it's as valuable as it could be. So here's what I would recommend. I've now met Heather. I met Frank, who's an attorney. And I met, Crystal over here. She's a wealth manager. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to reach out to each one of them and say, hey, I would love to get you all together for, a glass of wine, some appetizers. I have a CPA and a wealth manager I would love to introduce you to. I think you guys could really hit it off and maybe even do a little bit of business together. I'm coordinating a happy hour. Could you all come this day at this time? So that final step is getting them together, because what you're doing is you're being a connector. Being a connector makes a massive difference. Massive, massive, massive difference. So that would be the final stage for me. Get them all together, connect them to these other people. So that way you're building a network, you're building a web of professionals. And at this stage, you'll start to see who sticks and who fades away. So rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. This is about a 6-month process all in all. About 6 months or so, you should be able to have your business alliance set in place. All right, Heather, how does that land? Any questions or thoughts about all that?
Nope. I think, do you at any point talk about how you work and what, like, for us as agents?
It'll naturally come up. So as the conversation is reciprocated, which it should, that's part of the testing this out, you will hopefully know your differentiating points, right? This is a conversation for a later date, but all of you on this call need to know, like that quick, what are your differentiating points? Because all these professionals just relate to real estate agents as real estate agents. They don't actually know there's much of a difference. They're sure as hell not going to know unless you tell them. So different conversation, but you all need to know your talking points to build your credibility and your capability. Human beings refer to other humans because they're capable. They are the most capable agent, they're the most capable dentist, they're the most capable surgeon. I don't care if I like my surgeon. I care that he's the fucking best. And when it comes to things of this magnitude, you don't need to be the most liked. You need to be the most capable. Be careful about that. A lot of people go for like versus capability set. And that is a branding issue. Again, conversation for a later date, but your brand has to hit that as one of its brand pillars, that you are the most capable.
So
All
true.
right. We got a handful of minutes before we turn this over to questions. So I'm going to hit my last little bullet here. Something that I think is outside the box, yet very timely, and something that'll be fruitful over time is going to be YouTube. I have a whole lot of clients that I've been working on the strategy with for quite some time. I'm going to run through kind of a high level YouTube strategy. I do understand, everyone take a deep breath. I know some of you is like, oh gosh, video. I get it. I totally get it. Video is here to stay. That train left years ago. If you weren't on it, well, get a dinghy because you better catch up. Video is here, and it's the way things have moved. And it needs to be built in as part of your marketing strategy, not the whole marketing strategy, but part of your marketing strategy. Okay. So I'm going to walk you through a very simple foundational. This is foundational. This isn't advanced. This is just foundational, basically video / YouTube strategy. So there's 3 kind of chunks of video I want you to do. I'm going to start with the easiest. The easiest videos to start with are going to be FAQs, frequently asked questions. What's an interest rate? What does inspections mean? What are closing costs? Blah, 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 blah. You want to do short snippets. I don't care if it's 30 seconds or a minute and a half. I just want you to answer 1 FAQ per video. The goal here is volume. So I've owned multiple companies over my life. I just sold one of the largest medical clinics in San Diego in the middle of COVID. In that company, we had, I think, 86, 84 videos on our website. And we clobbered SEO. We owned Google. So what you're going to do, set up a camera, keep it simple, and do 1 video for every FAQ. I would go through buyers, every FAQ you can think of for buyers, every FAQ you can think of for sellers, every FAQ you can think of for investors and renters. Don't leave out the renters because the renters eventually become buyers. There's not a million videos for that one anyway, but still. So those are your 4 classes that I want you to think of as many videos as you possibly can think of. I'm gonna run, there's more strategy here, so just bear with me. There's a lot here. The next set of video that I want you to work up to is service videos. This is easy. I want you to have a buyer video, seller video, renter video, and investor video. Those are simple. Those can be a little longer. Those can be 2.5 minutes. Throw that up on the website. Throw it up on YouTube.
When you say service, you're talking about the services we provide for each one of those categories. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. That is correct.
Okay.
And thank you for saying that. So let me elaborate. I want to hear how you are unique in working with buyers. How are you unique and capable? There's that word again, capable, at working with sellers, investors, renters. Each one of you should have a spiel on how you have a unique proprietary process in working with buyers, and that's why people come to you. If you don't have that, you need to develop that, or you're just going to sound like every other agent out there. And that's what that video is going to capture for you. You can even use it to send to leads. The last video strategy is a bit of a monster. This is probably not for all of you. They're area videos. I'm learning Heather's Market, so I'm gonna try to use Heather's Market as the example here. So if we're in Utah, I would do area videos on, say, Draper. Draper is an area of Utah. And I would do a video on Draper schools, Draper shopping, Draper restaurants, dog parks, coffee shops, and just a general overarching, the vibe of Draper and where that town is going in the future. That way you look like the area expert, because that is what people are searching. When someone like myself say moving to a new area, I'm going to Google, what's the shopping like? What's the, are there movie theaters or the dog parks? That's what people search. And if your videos are the ones that show up all down the page of Google, you're going to stand above all the other agents, because most agents have never done this. I can promise you that. I know that as an absolute fact. Very few agents have ever done this. Does this take some time? Yes. Is this an investment in your business? Yes. The benefit is once these are done, these can be up there for years and years and years and years and years and years. So it's a really amazing thing to do.
Aaron, can
yeah.
you give them like Ivan, what's his last name? He's
Ivan Estrada. So if you want to look at someone who I've done this strategy with already, you can look up Ivan Estrada Properties. He's a Los Angeles agent with Douglas Elliman.
His videos are amazing, amazing.
Very
And
nice.
I have one other suggestion, because I've actually created these videos with 2 videographers that never produced them. So annoying. But I had a gal who was a copywriter. And so I just gave her the top cities that I worked in that I wanted to focus on. And I had her go and do all the research and learn all about the cities. And then she wrote up a very nice page. So we do have the pages on our website. Need to get another videographer that's going to follow through. But I think it's really beneficial for people, you know, moving to the area, and there's so much relocation to do that, and to take a little work off yourself. Find somebody that you can pay to just write it for you. Copywriters are usually pretty inexpensive. So it just takes some of your time. It saves you time.
Yep. So now here's the actual strategy. So I told you about the different kinds of videos. Here's the actual strategy. You're going to do a video. I'm just going to make up a video here. Let's do what's a cap rate? So if you did a video on a cap rate, here's now the strategy. That video goes on YouTube. That's point number 1. You're going to put up on your website. You're going to make a blog about that video and put the link to that video in your blog. You're going to use it up on social media. You're going to email it out to people. You're going to put it into a newsletter if you want to. There's so many uses for this. And that's the totality. With one video, you can put it on YouTube, you can put it on your website, you can make a blog about it, a social media post about it, put it into a newsletter, or just email it out to your database. I mean, plus social, I mean, there's so many things, assets that you're getting out of this one little video. And that is a game changer. The blog is awesome for your SEO. Being on YouTube and having it piped over your website, great for SEO. And also makes you look like you're with the times. You know, I know all of us in our database have a wide range of people from 20s to 70s and plus. And so you need to have marketing that hits different age groups. Today, I really focus on 2 different things: your business alliances and your videos. Very different age groups on that. But again, it rounds out the marketing plan that Heather and them are really working on with you guys. So I'm going to stop talking, turn this over to Heather. We're here to answer some questions and whatever questions you want to talk about.
Well, I'm going to go to Lee first because she's raised her hand. So you can unmute, my friend.
Hello. Thanks
Hello.
for chatting and being here today. I appreciate it. Well, all of you. But so I have done video, which I was probably like the 5th agent in this area to do about me and about the area and what I do and yada yada. And that's on my emails, and I should obviously need to post it more. But when you had said the areas. So this is just completely separate. And do I have to have a photographer? So my other one was professional. It's very, I love it. It's very classy. Do I have to do that, or can I just do me in these areas, or what are your thoughts on that?
It's all the editing. You know, I have a lot of agents that are really, really busy, and they actually aren't in their videos. They have a videographer that goes and gets all the B-roll, and they just do a voiceover.
Okay.
They slice in a few photos of them here and there. So if you're really busy and you're scared or intimidated by video, no problem. This is one of those things where you simply just go hire a kid who's decent. You tell them the kind of B-roll you want captured. They get a bunch of B-roll, they slice it up, put it to some good music, and you do a voiceover.
Okay.
That's a really
I'll try
easy
that.
way
I'm
of doing
not
it.
scared of video. Video, I mean, I can do videos all day long.
Yeah,
but,
do it. You're fine doing it on your phone. Obviously, just hit the 4K button so it's in 4K. and then just give it to a video person who can do the editing, unless you really want to spend the time.
Well, I'm laughing because I don't know what 4K is, so I'm gonna let somebody else do it.
Noted. Find a young person who knows their way
There you
around
go.
these damn cell phones, and they'll hit the little doohickey thingy in the corner that makes it really nice.
Okay,
If you,
Very
and
technical.
the other thing is if you know your content, you can, if like, say I was doing Draper City that Aaron mentioned, then I would find, like, I would go down to the heart of Draper City and maybe get just a little bit of me walking down the street, and I say I say a sentence intro, and then it goes into straight up B-roll and voiceover. So and you're not having to be in the whole video. So that's what I
That's-
did, but no one ever produced it. So
That's
And
my
just so you
preference
guys
too.
know, I'm just gonna interject 4K. If you have an iPhone, you just go to video and you tap this little button up in the right-hand corner and it'll change it from HD to 4K. So it's super simple. It's just gonna do it in a higher resolution. So it's literally a tap of a button.
what
If you
about
want.
Android?
I don't use Android, so maybe
Really?
someone can chime in on that.
Thank you.
interesting. All right, good tip. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Learn something new every day.
And honestly, like, I think that quality is totally fine for social media. People want to see like the real. They don't need this like overly edited piece of content. You just need to provide value. It needs to be good content. I think people care more about the context and what you're saying and what you're showing them than like it being like picture perfect.
For social, that's true. But when you're doing a YouTube strategy that's also being done in email marketing, there is a certain level that needs to exist. Doesn't have to be like pro for sure, but just be careful with that. You guys are out there
Another
filming.
When I do my videos, I'm like, yeah, they're fine. But when I look at the ones that have been professionally done on me, those are like, they make me wow every
Yeah.
time. So
Another really great person you guys can look up is Amber Anderson. She's out of Aaron coaches with her. She's a dear friend of ours. She is out of
San Diego.
Rancho Santa Fe, so San Diego, and
She's La Jolla is her technical area you can look up.
she has an incredible YouTube channel, and she does a lot of great videos. So take a look
Yeah.
at her stuff as well.
We just did this strategy with Amber. It's just starting to roll out. So over the next couple months, you should see the strategy roll out.
What was Amber? What was her last name?
Anderson.
Amber Anderson out of San Diego.
I can
You
look
can't
them up.
answer.
She's a Sotheby's agent, if that helps. Sotheby's agent, yeah.
And if you
I'll see
can't
if I
find
can-
her, reach out
I'll
to
see
me.
if I can find them and put them in the chat. So if you guys want to follow them, you can.
And then Aaron Estrada, was it?
Ivan.
Ivan Estrada.
Ivan?
And I think Kat, maybe even kind of comment to the video aspect that we do with Be Epic, because we do video for that purpose, to embed into everything, the importance of it.
Yeah, so that's why we tell you guys, I know some of you guys have like resisted video, but that's why we tell you to like embed it in your blog and put it in your email. And a lot of the videos we do are kind of more along like the FAQ kind of piece. So we do give you like a starting point for that. And I think also like, for those of you who are our members, if you guys have a request, if you guys have feedback, like we are more than happy to add some additional scripts. Obviously, you got to personalize it. Like I think what Aaron was kind of talking about was talking about what differentiates you as well. But we can at least give you the starting point, the template that you can work within, and then you can kind of add your own flavor to it.
Sounds awesome.
Does anybody else have questions? I don't see.
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to follow up on Kat. I love your guys's 2 videos.
Thank you.
Honestly, it has been really worth it for me. And then of course I have a you guys told me to get a thing, whatever. And that is the best. And I've had so many agents who are like, wow, Leah, you're so professional. And I'm like, I don't know what they're talking about, but if you think so, it's all that matters. So I really, really do appreciate what you guys are doing.
Thank you. We appreciate your feedback a lot. It means a lot. Oh, a teleprompter.
It's this teleprompter app or that you can, so if you're putting your script on there, like some people really need that
Those were
to
great.
get on camera and to feel like confident. So we've provided some recommendations to our members to help them kind of gain a little bit more confidence, because it seems like that's the number one roadblock we see for a lot of people is just, even getting on camera.
Oh, yeah.
Challenging. Somebody asked earlier, Angela, you're still here, I see. Can you repeat that list? Were you talking about the list of,
Business
um,
alliances.
do you want
He
to, you
was-
can unmute Angela if you want and tell us the list?
Oh, the breakdown, leads, appointments,
Oh, sure.
sales, average loan, purchase
Yeah, so-
price.
Yeah, your sales goal breakdown. So from the top down, well, actually I'll do it from the bottom up. It's easier. So there's leads, there's appointments, there's active buyers and sellers, which means they hired you as their agent. Then there's closed transactions. There's average sales price, and then sales volume. So that's from the bottom up.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, of course.
And I know some of you guys were kind of going back to the video thing on our video marketing call, but just to kind of piggyback on what Aaron was saying, like I have videos on YouTube that probably could be more professional, but they got the job done. And I mean, I posted these videos like 5 to 7 years ago, and I still get hits every single month. I get a check from YouTube in my bank account from videos that are 5 years old. So you just don't experience the same time decay that you get with a lot of the other social media channels where you put a piece of content out. It's good for maybe 24 hours and then you're not getting any more engagement or impressions on it. On YouTube, the shelf life is so much longer. And I've actually like gotten several really great clients from YouTube. So I do think it's an area that is sometimes overlooked because it's a little bit more involved when it comes to putting the videos together. But I think it's worth it because it lasts so much longer.
Yippers, I would agree with that.
All righty. Well, if there's no more questions, we're at the top of the hour. I'm going to put Aaron's website. I just popped it into the chat. So if anybody wants to check it out, has any questions for Aaron directly. Again, thank you so much for being here, Aaron. This has been
Of course.
fantastic and a really good refresher for me.
Of course. And listen,
So-
I'm happy to. Hope you all got a few nuggets for today. Hope this is worth your time. I appreciate you being with us today.
And if anybody has any questions about Be Epic, you know how to get a hold of Kat and I. We love our members. Thank you all for being here. And those of you who aren't members, if you have any questions, let us know. So
Yes. And thanks for sharing your feedback, Lee. It's good to hear from you.
Thank
we
you
love seeing you
guys.
here every month.
Thank
Okay.
you guys.
Thanks. See you
Thanks a
later.
lot. Have a
Bye,
great
bye.
day. Bye.